All right. Hi, my name is Kelly Canning, and this is my presentation on the casino Indian trope and how casinos can affect native life both socially and economically. So first, for some background on casinos, Indian tribes are sovereign nations, so we see a lot of stuff with jurisdiction come into play here. With the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act of 1988, allowed tribes to operate full-scale casinos on reservation land, and they did not have to abide by state law as long as it followed federal law, which allowed them much more opportunity and opened the doors for so much more. When casinos come onto reservation land, we see a lot of positive trends. We see there's population increase, employment increases, and just the overall livelihood. We even see mortality even decreases here, which is pretty amazing. But with that, there's always a negative side. People come to casinos and they'll risk it all and lose it all and resort to some pretty violent things. We see lots of crime, auto theft, larceny, bankruptcy, you name it, which brings an awful reputation to these communities, which again is not fair. The first myth I'm going to talk about with the stereotypes is the myth or idea that casino Indians exploit their culture for profit. It's almost like manipulative in a way, and that they're using their cultural traditions to further their financial gain, which again is not the case whatsoever, but we see it happen. This is a scene from Family Guy, to which Lois is at a casino, and the casino worker says, well, technically it's not really gambling, it's just us trying to rebuild our cheddar culture after you raped our land and defiled our women. Which again, it's kind of a gaslighting in a way. Oh, you should feel bad for us. Are you going to spend your money here? Again, could not be further from the truth. Later on in this episode, we also see lots of very racist and ignorant name tags that they have the workers labeled as. We see the one in this situation, his name was Sees You Coming. But some of the other name tags we see throughout the episode are Running Bear, Change for a Buck, Deals with his wrist, and then the bathroom attendant's name tag says Watches You Pee, which is again are all just mocking real native names. The second myth that we see is that casino Indians are led by scheming and immoral chiefs, and that they have they're just corrupted by all this money and power. They're all tribal chiefs are seen as greedy and powerful. They're like the brains behind the whole operation. It's all some rigged ulterior motive, and there's some grand plan that they have all orchestrated. Again, not the case whatsoever. But we see it in entertainment today. This is just a further solidified and enforced stereotype we see in South Park here. This episode says they're talking about building the casino and the super highway going through Denver to bring all the city people to the casino. But they have to go through the city of South Park. And there's like, how are we going to do that? And the chief says, simple. And he holds up 2 big stacks of bills, and they all just start laughing and twiddling their fingers diabolically. He says, with a warpath laugh is their words that they use in the script. So, yes, very scheming and immoral in this sense, but again, definitely not the case in real life. The last myth I want to talk about is that casino Indians aren't authentically Native American, and that they're making up percentages and pretty much milking the truth and the validity of their actual heritage. I have a clip, another one from Family Guy, they strike again. This one is Peter saying, my great-grandfather's name was Jeep Grand Cherokee. Chief Grand Cherokee. Mixing it up with the car. Again. We even see that Native Americans' identities often now called into question, which is so unfair. And now there's this idea that if you're Native, there's no way that you're actually Native and making all that money. If you're getting a profit from a casino, there's no way you're actually Native American if that's happening. There's a sketch from SNL that I have in here where he talks about being 256th Indian and how he's just milking that. We even see our former president Donald Trump saying, you don't look Indian to me, you don't look Indian to an Indian. Stuff like that. The last scene I'm going to talk about is a scene from The Sopranos. And the one man asks, you don't look much like an Indian, and To which he says, frankly, I passed most of my life as white until I had a racial awakening and discovered my Mohawk blood. My grandmother on my father's side, her mother was a quarter Mohawk. And all this happened when the casino bill got passed, right? They all smile, and he says, better late than never, and just shrugs his shoulders. Again, this is like profit-seeking, and it makes you have to question Native identity, which should never have to be a thing. You should never have to prove your own self to someone, because this should never have been a thing. It's a stereotype that's not fair, and I think this casino issue with the whole money and power, greed gets in so many people's heads and creates this kind of a stereotype, which is completely unfair. And that's all I have before I run out of time. There's more in the PowerPoint again. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a great day.